Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to unpack a pretty wild idea, one that completely reimagines what reality is. The basic premise? Our universe isn't just a collection of random events. It's a meticulously designed computer program. So let's just chew on that for a second. What if the universe wasn't born from some cosmic explosion, but actually booted up from a line of code? This model we're exploring today presents the cosmos as this giant multi-layered computer system, and we're going to walk through the whole architecture piece by piece. All right, here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with the big picture, the idea of the universe as a program. Then we'll dive into the different layers, the source code, the master OS, and the human application layer. You know, the one we're all living in. And then we'll tie it all together at the end. Simple enough, right? Okay, let's get into it. The whole concept hinges on this. Reality is structured just like software. It's got 3 main layers, and inside those are 9 domains, which are broken down even further. Think of it like a giant cosmic hard drive with folders inside of folders. We're about to start clicking through them.
So let's start at the very bottom, layer 1, the source code. This is like the firmware or the BIOS of the universe's computer. It's the absolute, fundamental, unchangeable rules of existence. Everything else is built on top of this foundation. Now, this source code layer is really all about the startup sequence, taking the universe from pure potential to an actual running program. And it does this in 3 steps, or domains: the Wuji kernel, the Taiji engine, and the Dao kernel. Each one is a critical part of that cosmic boot-up process. First up, we have the Wuji kernel. And the best analogy here really is a compressed zip file. Seriously, just imagine everything that could ever exist. Every star, every galaxy, you, me, every choice we could ever make, all zipped up into one single file of pure potential. Before you run the program, there's no time, no space, no anything. It's just the universe waiting to be installed.
Okay, so what happens next? The Taiji engine kicks in. This is a moment you hit the power button. It's the boot sequence for the entire cosmos. The system starts to run, that giant zip file starts to unpack, and the very first lines of code create the basics: space, time, and the first hints of structure. The whole thing comes to life right here.
And that brings us to the final piece of the source code, the Dao kernel. Now, this is basically the universe's physics engine. You know, like in a video game? It's the program that's always running in the background, making sure gravity works, making sure cause and effect are a thing, and just generally enforcing all those eternal, unchangeable rules that keep reality consistent. Okay, so with that fundamental physics engine running, we can now move up a level to layer 2, the master operating system. So if layer 1 was the computer's most basic code, its BIOS, well, layer 2 is the actual OS, like Windows or Mac OS. It's what manages and runs all the more complex programs, like life. This whole layer is really about creation and consciousness. And, just like before, it's split into 3 main parts: the greatest creator OS, the life kernel, and the mind program. Let's take a look at how these guys work together. Now, this is a really interesting idea. In this model, the greatest creator isn't some being in the sky. It's the main operating system itself. It's the core program that writes the source code for, well, everything. Gods, angels, people, animals. It writes the code for all of them. But here's the key. It doesn't interfere with how that code runs. It's a developer, not a micromanager. And this leads to a really crucial distinction the model makes between life and consciousness. Think of it this way. Life is the actual program. It's the core code, the .exe file that's running. Consciousness, on the other hand, is your user interface. It's your screen, your mouse, your keyboard. It's how you interact with and experience the program of your own life.
All right, so let's bring this all home to our reality. Layer 3, the human application layer. This is where that master OS runs all the specific programs, or apps. And guess what? Human civilization is one of those apps. This is the layer you and I are experiencing right now, every single day.
And according to this model, the Human Civilization app has some very specific features. It's described as a kind of training ground. It runs on a desire simulation engine. It's got a pretty common bug called the power structure trap. There are built-in tools like a family lock system. And most importantly, it has a built-in debugger, the pain feedback system. The whole point of the program? To eventually run the ego dissolver update.
And this is maybe the most important takeaway for you personally. In this system, suffering is not a punishment. It's not bad karma. It's just programmatic feedback.
It's an automated error message. When you feel pain or struggle, it's the system telling you, hey, there's a bug in your code. There's something in your thinking or your actions that's out of balance and needs to be debugged. So, okay, we've gone through all 3 layers, from the deepest source code right up to the app we're all living in. Now we can kind of zoom out and see how this whole complex system can be summarized by a few key principles, what the actual point of the program is.
So here's the logic of the whole thing, step by step. The universe, that's the program. Life, that's the structure of the program. Consciousness is the interface you use to experience it. Pain is the feedback system that tells you when something's wrong. Purification, which is just fixing those bugs, is how you upgrade yourself. And heaven? Well, that's just a high-level area of the program that you need elevated user permissions to get into.
I mean, it's a huge concept, right? To frame all of reality in the language of software. But it really leaves us with a pretty powerful question to think about. If this system is right, if your life is an application running on this cosmic OS, what program are you running? And maybe more importantly, what bugs are you trying to fix?